record. So I'm recording now. I'll go ahead to mute everybody so that we can have a peaceful class. Currently, you will communicate with me by sending me chats if there is any issue along the line. So I'm muting everybody now. Okay, so everybody is muted. I begin to share my screen. Okay, so I begin to share my screen now. This is it. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay, thank you. Can you hear me? Yes, thank you. Okay, so I begin the class without further delay. Okay, good afternoon once again. What I said earlier was by the time we finish this class today, we would have just one more class left. So this is our 9th class. So by the 10th class, we would have finished. Okay, so the 10th class would have it on Friday at our usual time. I hope there is no holiday on that day again. So just as you know, this is GST, General Studies 105. And what we're discussing today is a continuation of Module 3, which we started last week. So last week we discussed Units 1 and 2 of Module 3. Today we'll look at Unit 3, 4, and 5 of Module 3. So by the end of this class, we would have finished Module 3. Then we'll be left with the whole of Module 4, which is the last module in the course material. Module 4 has 5 units, but 2 of the units are revision. So we are left with just 3 units, Units 1 to 3 of Module 4, and that we will discuss in one class, and that will bring our facilitation for 2023_1 to a close. So just as you were informed via various means, I tried to send email. I don't know if anybody got that. I tried to send a module message. I don't know if anybody got that. But what normally happens is that it gets delivered after the class has finished because it got delayed. It gets delayed by network. So if you receive it after this class or maybe days later, don't be surprised, okay? But I also put it on the WhatsApp platforms. Then on the e-learn platform, we also have a notice of this meeting, of this class there. So Unit 3 of our Module 4, Unit 3 of our Module 3 is the nature and scope of philosophy of science. Okay, so let me quickly say something. This class is 2 to 3, okay, 1 hour. But we know that we normally exceed 1 hour in our discussion. But today, I won't be able to go more than 1 hour. In fact, if I can finish like 5 minutes before, I'll be happy. So as the class progresses, If there are questions you think you have, you may need to write them down because I won't be able to take many questions in this class. I want to finish on the dot of 3 because I have another important engagement at 3 o'clock, okay? So try, if you have questions and we may not be able to take them today, or you have questions or concern or comment, and we're not able to take them today, just put them down. Next week, Friday, would have ample time to interact, being our last class. So in this class too, at the end of the class, I have the form for you to fill. Google form is very simple. It's for you to give us feedback on how you enjoy the course or what you don't like about the course or the facilitator. So it's feedback from you to the institution so that they can improve on service delivery to you. So please remind me when we finish the class. So meaning of philosophy of science. When we say philosophy of science, what do we mean? Philosophy of science. What is philosophy of science? First is the systematic study, the way we study in a systematic way, logical way, the nature of science, especially as it relates to the method of science, the concepts and presuppositions of science. That's what we mean by philosophy of science. We study it in a systematic manner, the various ways science manifests. Popola, Bisola, why are you circling the screen? You want me to send you out of this class? Why? Why this circling that you're doing? What kind of thing is this? I should send you out of this class. What's the meaning of this now? So, philosophy of science, it tries to answer certain questions. And some of those questions are what we are having on the screen. What is science? What is science we have discussed in the class? What nature do we have of scientific knowledge? How does scientific knowledge come? How does it differ from, how does scientific knowledge, what differentiates it from other forms of knowledge? How do we arrive at a truth? And what are the aims and objectives of science? And what we mean by that is what is meant by the goal, the end, or purpose of science. All of these questions we have dealt with in this class. When we talk about aim of science, I remember telling you it aims to predict, to explain, and to analyze. So if you go and watch the previous videos, or you check your jottings, or even read your course materials, all these questions have been answered. So these are some of the questions that philosophy of mind tries to answer. Now, there are common features between philosophy of science or philosophy and science. Okay, we're talking about philosophy of science. So in philosophy of science, you have two disciplines, philosophy and science. So both, though different in orientation, they have some features, some attributes or characteristics in common. So the first is that they are both critical. They don't take things hook, line, and sinker or on the surface level. They try to investigate some more. They are skeptical. What we mean by that is they ask more questions. They take things with a pinch of salt till they are able to ascertain it. Both are non-dogmatic. They don't force their opinions on you. It's an open field. So they have all of these in their character or attitude. So philosophy and science, they also have some level of curiosity. If you remember, when we discussed science in the ancient period, when we looked at the pre-Socratics, Thales, Anaximander, and Anaximenes, they were curious people wanting to know what the basic constituent of the universe was. So that spirit of curiosity, it runs through the entire epoch of philosophy. And science is also a curious discipline. So science and philosophy, they show curiosity, they want to know. And they also possess the courage to explore every question within no-go areas and heresies. When we say no-go areas, there are questions that people consider that we don't ask, especially questions regarding the existence of God. Does God exist? Some people consider it as no-go areas. But when you begin to ask such questions, they consider it as heretical. But these two disciplines, because of their curious nature, they also have boldness in their system, in their attitude and character. They ask questions, good questions, and especially regarding areas that are considered no-go areas. Okay, so both disciplines, that science and philosophy, they search for knowledge. They are in search of knowledge. If you remember the definition of science, when we looked at what science is, from its etymology, we say it means knowledge. Scientia means knowledge. Philosophy itself, it means love of wisdom. Some people say love of knowledge, okay? But etymologically, from the roots of the word philosophy, it means wisdom. So both philosophy and science, they are in search of knowledge. Knowledge that has the following characteristics: that is rational, that is systematic, orderly, logical, universal. Wherever it is found, you can be sure of what it is. Objective, independent of us, certain, verifiable, that is provable or demonstrable. So both science and philosophy, they also lay emphasis on method. They have a particular method of inquiry. If you remember too, we talked about scientific method in unit 1 of module 1. So philosophy has its own method of critical nature method, deductive method and the like. So deductive method is important for philosophy, while both the inductive and deductive methods are very important for the sciences. Deductive, very important to philosophy. Both inductive and deductive, very important to the sciences. So both philosophy and science, they make use of a method. Now, when we talk about philosophy, there are various branches of philosophy. You have them on the screen: metaphysics, epistemology, logic, ethics, aesthetics. There are other ones: socio-political philosophy and the likes. But it is only epistemology and logic that are most relevant to our discussion of philosophy of science. Logic and epistemology are very important too. This is our discussion of philosophy of science. So when we talk about logic pertains to argument. When we talk about argument here, does not refer to the one we do every day, where we are almost quarreling, when nobody wants to agree with the other. That's not argument that we refer to in logic. The argument that we talk about in logic has to do with sets of propositions, sets of statements that have premises and conclusion. Like premises, like the first set of argument, then what conclude, the first set of statements stating something, and conclusion that concludes the statement, or that finalizes on the statements that had been made. So to arguments, we have validity or soundness of it. So let's look at an example of argument. All dogs are mammals is premise 1. Remember I said argument here refers to a set of propositions. So all of these highlighted, these 3 bullets highlighted in blue is an argument. So all dogs are mammals is one premise. Premise 2 is all mammals are animals. That's premise 2. Therefore, all dogs are animals. That's the conclusion. So in an argument, you would have one conclusion only, never 2 conclusions, and you could have several premises. In this instance, there are 2 premises. So what is highlighted in blue is an example of an argument. When we talk about deductive argument pertains to when we reason from general to particular, from general ideas to particular ideas. That's what we mean by deductive argument. So what is an example of deductive argument? So remember the definition. We reason from general to particular. So an example, all men are mortal. You see, by the effect of all, it refers to general. Okay. John is a man. This is particular, right? Referring to just one person, John. Therefore, John is mortal. That's the conclusion. Deductive argument, reasoning from general. This first statement is general, to particular. This is particular. So these two, they form the first two premises, while this last, therefore, John is mortal, is the conclusion. When we talk about inductive argument, is the converse, like the opposite of deductive argument. Okay. So it is reasoning from particular to general. You see here, in this example, many Africans are dark-skinned. It's not referring to all Africans. So it is particular, okay? Unlike this first one that you have all, is referring to every human, every man. So in inductive, you reason from particular to general, and that's why we have many Africans are dark-skinned. That's particular, not referring to all Africans, okay? Therefore, all Africans are black. You see the all here, referring to general. So that's why inductive argument moves from particular to general. And in these arguments, you can see that we have just one premise: many Africans are dark-skinned, followed by a conclusion. Therefore, all Africans are dark-skinned, telling us that it is not in all forms of argument that we could have two premises. We can also have one premise. This is an example. And one conclusion. In all arguments, there would always be one conclusion, never two conclusions. The inductive method is also called Baconian, after Francis Bacon, who was the founder. So when they ask you, who is the founder of the inductive method, it is Francis Bacon. He's an English philosopher from England. So another name for inductive method is Baconian method, named after the founder called Francis Bacon. So here now we are in unit 4 already. We finished unit 3. So here we are discussing the origin of human. The origin of human. That's what we are discussing here. So what this simply says is that, how do we humans, how did we come about? For some of us who are religious people, maybe we would say God created us. For some of us, we would say we are a product of evolution. For some of us, we say we came because of the Big Bang theory. So what we're discussing in these units is how we humans, how we originate, or where we originated from, where we came from. So there are various views. The first view is what you have on the screen, the religious view. So who are the people who uphold the religious view? They are referred to as the creationists. The creationists are those who uphold the religious views. Creationists and the African traditionalists. They are the proponents, those who champion the religious view. So human, according to them, we humans, you and I, it is God that created us in his image and likeness. I'm sure this is not very difficult for us to understand, because I believe many of us hold one religious view or the other. So this view states that we humans, you and I, it is God who made us, and he made us in our image and likeness. So this view is also upheld by, God is variously called Allah, Chukwu, Olojumare. If I ask you, I know in your various languages, you know what God is called. Okay. So those who uphold the view, they are the creationists or the African traditionalists. So the most popular accounts of the origin of human, we can find it in various religions, in our various religions. If we can use the Christian religion as an example, when you look at Genesis chapters 1 and 2, we will see the creation account there. So it's upheld by the creationists or African traditionalists. So that's one view about where we came from, where we originated from as humans. The other view is scientific in nature. So it's not the religious view this time, it's scientific. And this view is championed by Charles Darwin. If you've been following this class, you would already know who Darwin is, because we've mentioned his name at least twice in this class. So we are seeing Darwin again. In fact, in the very first class we had, Unit 1 of Module 1, we encountered Darwin. And somebody asked a question, which I said, we're going to see Darwin more in his elements in the course of the class. We have seen him, but we are still seeing him again. So Charles Darwin is the proponent of the scientific view. And what does it state? What it states simply is that we humans, where we came from monkeys, from gibbons, gorillas, and chimpanzees. That those are our ancestors. That is where we originated from. And so there are various terms used to describe it: Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo sapiens sapien, which is the modern human. So another idea here is that pertains to hominids. What are hominids? Hominids, they are part of a zoological family, which we humans, we belong. Zoological families that you and I, we belong. So the family has only a single surviving species referred to as Homo sapiens. So there are various types of hominids, varieties of hominids, various types. And the ideas that unite them, in their diversity, there are points of convergences. So what unites them? What unites these various types of hominids are what you have on the screen, on the slide. Ability to stand on two legs is one thing that unites all hominids, to which we belong as humans. Being able to feeding behavior also unites hominids. Brain expansion and elaboration also unites hominids. Okay. And the last thing that unites all hominids is the expansion of the brain, expansion and elaboration of the brain. So the evolutionary development of human, the way we've developed from human, the way we developed as human from ape-like primates, it was marked by 4 important factors. Remember, we are still looking at the evolutionary theory regarding how we humans originate. We've looked at the religious view. We are looking at the evolutionary view. And we said a major proponent of the evolutionist view is Charles Darwin, and that's what we're looking at. And we said what this view says is that we evolved from monkeys, from gibbons, from gorillas, from chimpanzees. So here in this bullet, we are saying that how we evolved from ape-like primates, it was marked by 4 important factors. 4 factors define our origination from ape-like primates. What are those 4 factors? The first 2 are the way our brain grows and elaborates, how we get to perfect an erect posture. If you've read your text, you will see a picture of what looks like an animal or animals who cannot stand up erect. They were bent like old people, and gradually they get to be erect till they can stand upright. So that's what is being referred to in number 2 here on the screen, that says the perfection of erect posture. So given that we originated, according to evolutionary view, from apes, from monkeys, from chimpanzees, from gibbons, we did not readily have an erect posture. So it's over time, as we keep evolving to this present Homo sapiens sapiens, which is the modern human, we get to perfect and get to be fully erect as humans. So the last 2 of the 4 important factors are the slowing down of postnatal development, postnatal, antenatal before birth, postnatal after birth. So the slowing down of it. Humans are known to be the only animal that at birth, the offspring cannot survive after a long time outside of the mother. Okay, so the slowing down of postnatal and the growth of human population. The growth of human population, we know we touched on it last week when we said some of the effects of science and technology, increase in population. And somebody asked, why is increase in population an effect of science and technology? And I remember saying that with technology, we are able to be more fertile, okay? But also with the use of artificial or assisted reproductive techniques of various sorts, especially in vitro fertilization. But also with science and technology, there is also a decline in death and more birth. So that increases the population of the world, okay? So to the last unit that we're looking at in this class, which is the 3rd in this class, module 3, unit 5, is referring to the nature of human, our nature as human. So I would like you to describe for me in the chat box what nature you have as human. We are all humans, right? And we have our various nature, different from plants, different from animals, which sometimes we share with them. So tell me, what are some of the natures we have as humans? I'm looking at it in the chat box. Ability to speak, okay, great. Ability to move, yes. Tairu, Blessing, Stella Ikushika, good. I'm looking at it. To think, rationality. To eat, to smile, favor, and joy, yes. I can see. Rose and dog sittings, you are the one who can't see your device. You should have it checked by a technical person. Nature of reproduction, yes. Ability to reason, respond to stimuli, Amos, yes. Clara, yes. We can stand erect, we have the ability to go. Columbus, Jessica, great. Ability to have ideas. Yes, you all are very brilliant students. Ability to reproduce, to reason, irritability. Great. Okay, so let's see now. Let's see. So it's a pretty simple topic, the nature of human. It pertains to who we are as humans, basically. To get angry, emotion, yes, and forgive. If I'm winning fair, favors Olubisi, great. Ability to reason, thank you. So I'll continue with the class now. So a living being, which you and I are, we have life, just the way plants and animals have life. We grow and die, and we have the principle of growth and death, or the things that make one to grow and die. We have them inbuilt in us. Just as you all have mentioned, we can eat, we can breathe, we can move. These characteristics, we also share it with animals, other animals, eating, breathing, moving. So humans, we can also communicate with ourselves through speech and other forms of communication. It could be non-verbal communication. And we produce the means of our subsistence, the way we survive, in a way that is far beyond what any other animal can do. Yes, we have a more complex systems of survival than animals. So these characteristics, we have them in common with animals. Nonetheless, just as you mentioned, there are some features that differentiate us from animals, which is our cognitive faculty, our reasoning capacity, which also pertains to the power to create, to invent, and to innovate, which we use in different ways. We humans, we are also composed, we are made up of cells. And what is cell? Cell is the basic unit of life. Some of you who did biology, you already know this. Ability to interact, Emmanuel, Juliana, thank you. So cell is the basic unit of life. We know that, some of us. So we are made up of the most complex type of cell structure. And there are 6 of these. Skin cells, called epithelium, these tissues, bone or all these things are in your course material, if only you read it. Excuse me. So skin cells, called epithelium tissues, bone or connective tissue cells, muscle cells, blood cells, nervous tissue cells, reproductive cells. The details of all these, they are in your course material. And so that brings us to the end of today's class, this discussion from my end. Okay, so it is time for question and answers and comments. And the link I told you at the beginning of the class, I think I also mentioned it last week. I will put it in the chat box. And the way it works is that you would click on it or copy it and paste it in your browser. It opens. You won't share it with anybody. You won't fill it with anybody. It is your own personal view of what the course is about. Okay, so it's an independent feedback, not the one you will consult your friend. How did you do it? I mean, not, okay, you could ask how you did it, but what did you put? Is it A? Is it B? No, it's your own opinion we want to have. So it's a feedback form that tells us what you like about the course, what you want improved, and the likes. It's just to have some feedback from you. So it helps the management to serve you better. So I want to begin to see your hands if you have any question or comments. So I'm putting the link in, and you fill it only once, please, just once. If you filled through the chat box now, when it's posted in your WhatsApp group, don't fill again. You fill and submit only once. Okay, I hope the instruction is clear. You fill just once. It's an independent filling. You fill by clicking on the link or by copying it and placing in in your browser and it opens and you fill and click submit, and that's all. So I'll begin by calling so can I see? I'm not seeing any hands up. So there are no questions. We can call it a day. So I'm calling Okunuga Abibat. Unmute yourself.
Hello, good afternoon, ma, and thank you for this lecture.
Thank
Please,
you.
ma, could you help me to explain? It's in my text, my course book. Could you help me to explain? It's 3.3 chromosomes, carrier of hereditary materials. Though it is not what you have discussed today, but it's part of what you're supposed to discuss today. Could you help me to explain chromosomes, please?
It's not part of what I am supposed to explain, okay?
But it's in my course material.
It is not, listen to me, madam. It is not everything in your course material we can cover in 1 hour. That's why you are encouraged to study. You are also informed which area would be discussed so that you study it and come and ask questions on what is not clear to you, okay? So what we say as facilitation are key points in your course material. So if you study, you'll be able to ask questions. So it's good you're asking questions, but I just feel that you should know that it is not what I'm supposed to explain, because I can't explain all that is in your course material in 1 hour or in 8 weeks of facilitation, which this is the 9th week. I hope we're clear on that.
It's okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you talk about chromosomes are part of those things in human bodies through which we for example, let me use an example. You have X and Y chromosomes that is released during intercourse that determines the sex of a baby. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
So it's part of what we refer to, where I said you have 6 of these ideas in your course material. So when we talk about chromosomes, we talk about something that has to do with our biology, in which when during reproduction, you have the X and Y chromosomes depending on who is releasing it. And that is what determines what sex the baby would be. Is that okay?
It's okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Please mute yourself. I'll call Florence. Florence, unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Please, I just wanted to elucidate on what are hominids. I don't really get it well.
Hominids is okay. Okay. Hominid. Can you hear that I'm echoing?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you. I can hear you.
But it's not like it's echoing, right?
No.
Okay. No, it's okay then. So hominids is a class of species that we humans will belong. Can you see it on the screen? Zoological family that you and I as humans will belong. And the only surviving species therein is referred to as Homo sapiens, which is the modern human. And we also explained that there are different types of hominids. You might have that in your course material. But a unifying characteristics of all these varieties of hominids are what you have on the slides. 3 of them. The way they stand on 2 legs, which you and I will stand on 2 legs, omnivorous, the way our feeding behavior or pattern, and the way our brain expands or elaborates. That is what is referred to as hominids in very basic terms.
Thank you, ma.
If the link is not clickable, just as I said, copy it and paste it in your browser. Copy carefully, leaving no word, no alphabet, because if you leave any alphabet, it will not work. You can copy it and paste it in your browser, okay? So thank you, Florence, for your question. Please mute yourself. Kolawole Abigail, Abike, I'm asking you to unmute. Or you've unmuted. Abigail, you have the floor. Kolawole. Is she there? Is Kolawole Abigail there? Okay, I will go ahead to call somebody else. Bernard Rachel. Unmute yourself. Bernard Rachel.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am, the link that you dropped, what is the link for, ma'am? I'm sorry. I couldn't tell you.
You came late to class.
Yes, ma'am.
The link is to collect feedbacks from you students on your experience with the course and the facilitator. So it's just for you to feel and tell us what your opinion is. It's for us to get your feedback and to be able, for the university to be able to serve you better. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So please mute yourself and lower your hand. Ahmed Abdullahi, I'm asking you to unmute. Abdullahi Ahmed, is he there?
I'm there. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
Please, under these factors of human evolution, can you throw more light on this slowing down of postnatal development?
Okay, when we talk about slowdown of postnatal development as part of the factors, I explained that when you look at other animals, you know, we humans were animals, but they refer to us as higher animals.
Yes.
When we look at other animals, when chicken gives birth, the baby can walk, kind of. Other kind of animals, they at birth, at postnatal, that's after birth, antenatal, before birth. At postnatal, you could say that they have a bit more, some independence from the mother. But for humans, the human offspring depends on the mother for a longer period of time. So that is what is being referred to as in that phrase. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, too. Please lower your hands and mute yourself. I'm calling Ismail Rashidat. Unmute yourself. Rashidat is Ismail. Is she in class or? Yeah, should be. She.
Yes, ma. Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you today?
Fine, ma. Thank you for the class, ma. You're not blessed.
Thank you. And Ramadan, happy Ramadan. Yeah, sorry, I didn't wish you all a happy Ramadan. Happy Ramadan. Hope
Thank
you are
you.
enjoying the holiday. You were the
Yes.
ones who finished this class. So it was later I remember that today is Ramadan, still holiday, and one should
Yes.
allow you to enjoy your holiday. But
No
since
problem,
you
ma.
were the one that suggested
To have
Monday,
class.
I guess you don't mind.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, ma. Thank you so
Okay.
much, ma.
Congratulations.
Yes, ma.
All right.
Please, can you
So,
throw light on Darwin?
I can't hear you.
Yes, ma. Please, can you explain more about Darwin errors of information?
Darwin's evolutionary theory. Okay.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Thank
Now,
you so much.
Darwin is
Yes, ma.
a scientist who is known for his theory of evolution. What does his theory of evolution state? It simply states that we as humans, you and I, that our ancestors, they are chimpanzees, gorillas, baboons, monkey, that we evolve from this family of animals. That's what it says basically.
Okay.
Evolve from monkey, from chimpanzee, from gorilla, from
Gorilla,
elephant, from baboon.
chimpanzees.
Yes,
Okay.
that is how we evolve as humans. So from one level, we begin to graduate till we get to this Homo erectus, in which we have been able to perfect our the way we erect, we stand erect. As I said in the course of the class, if you check your course material, there is a picture there that depicts the
Yes, ma.
different stages of evolution of humans according to Charles Darwin. That's what it says.
Thank you so much, ma.
All right, thank you. Have a great day. Lower your hands and mute yourself, please. I'm calling Abe Babajide Adeyemi. Unmute yourself. Yes, I will paste, the link will be pasted in your WhatsApp group, but don't fill twice, fill just once, okay? Thank you. So if you filled on the chat here, don't fill in your WhatsApp group again. And if it's pasted on e-learn, if you've filled before, don't fill again. And don't share with those who are not taking this course. Only those who have been to this class at least once. So Abe Babajide Adeyemi, you have the floor. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning. Good afternoon, rather.
Good afternoon, sir.
I'm sorry, this is my first time of attending this class, actually. And I believe I'm not supposed to ask any question, but you made mention of the WhatsApp group. I am not on the WhatsApp group. I don't know how I can be added to the WhatsApp group. So as to
Somebody,
know.
please. Okay. Are you done?
Yeah, that's my question.
Somebody, please drop the link to the WhatsApp group here so that he can join and he would know what is going on. Also, if you check your e-learn platform, the link to the WhatsApp group is there, which you can easily click on and join as well. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it's okay by me, so I can know what to do from there. Thank you so much.
Know what to do from there. Okay. So I'm going to call the next person. I'm calling. Okay, I just pasted the link, so you can click it and join. Ani Bijuwa. Sorry, I cannot pronounce the name. It's almost time. Unmute yourself. Ani Bijuwa.
All right, ma. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, ma. As Mr. Abe just said, I'm also joining this class for the first time, but this is not that's not my main cause of asking a question. I want to know the exact time the TMA is going to end.
Okay, I don't know myself.
Because I just joined the institution last week. Yeah, last week.
Okay.
So I don't know much about what is going on. If not for the help of my one of my friends, she has been aiding me in doing some stuff. Apart from that, I don't know anything. I don't. And
It's okay.
second thing is that I don't know anything. She's the one that even get me this link.
Okay.
So I have much
What you
to
will do?
cover. But I want to know.
Will you listen?
I want to
Will you
know the exact
listen?
time. All right, Mama.
Join the WhatsApp group. Ask
right.
all your questions there. As they are listening to you, they can also answer some of your questions, especially regarding TMA. But when you join the WhatsApp question, all the questions you may have, people will put you through there. And also chat it in the chat box presently, and people would answer you. All right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Lower your hand, please. I won't be able to take more questions. I said it at the beginning of the class. I have an this class is 2 to 3, but normally we exceed 1 hour taking questions. But today I'm ending the class at 3 because I have an important discourse to attend online, which starts at 3. So I'm going to take just 2 more questions or comments or whatever it is. For those that their hands are raised and I'm not able to take them, please don't, so that you don't forget, write it down. Friday, our usual time, we'll have this class and it will be the last class. Friday, 3 to 4. I hope there is no holiday again on Friday. So we'll have the class, our usual time, 3 to 4. So I'm just going to take 2 more questions. Every other people raising up their hands. Write down your question or comment or whatever you want to ask and bring it to class on Friday. So I'm taking Gomet Super and Amole Olamilekon only. You see, Odiaka Christian, write down your comments. Favor Onja, write down your comments, bring it to class on Friday. If I in favor, write it down till Friday. Stella Ikushika, write it down till Friday. Adegboye Simiat, write it down till Friday. All right. Madam Regina, write it down till Friday. So I'm taking just Gomet Super and Amole. So unmute yourself, Super, and ask your question fast, please. It's 3 o'clock already. I need to go. Is Gomet Super in class? No. Amole Olamilekon. You have the floor.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Yes, based on the link that you sent to us on the survey. So I'm there now. So I just want to ask a question concerning that now. Is it the one that we are going to respond with, the one that are asked option, that give us option? So we just choose one, we are going to choose one of the options.
Yes, you will answer all the questions by choosing one option.
Okay, so what about the,
at the end, you have one that says whether you have what's it called? More comments or something. Yeah, comments, so that one is so you just tell us what you feel by writing, by typing. So you will fill both the ones with option and the one without option. And after you're done filling, you will click submit and it will submit.
Okay, ma, but the first one, first of all, say be as an objective to sincere possible, and based on your own individual thinking. So all those ones too, is it like, are they giving us the insight of the survey, or we are going to answer that too, ma?
They are instructions.
Okay, ma. Okay, ma.
The question starts from coverage of the course.
Yes. Sustaining the interest.
So those other upper one, they are just instructions on what to do, how to fill. All right.
Okay, ma. Thank you, ma.
Okay, thank you too. So every other person raising their hands that I can't take, please write down your question. Against Friday, the standard time is Friday 3 to 4. This is a makeup class because we didn't have class for 2 Fridays, the Good Friday class and last week Friday that was Salah. That's why this is makeup. But our last day of lecture is next week Friday. Next week Friday 3 to 4. We'll take all your questions and comments. We have more time to jollificate and talk and interact, okay? So this class has come to an end. Don't forget, the form to be filled, you fill just once. So if you see it in other platforms, don't feel, please, if you have filled and submitted ones. Okay, so I wish you all the best. Enjoy the rest of the day. You may unmute yourself now and exit the class. Bye-bye. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye,
ma'am.
ma. Thank
Come
you,
unmute
ma.
yourself.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the info.
No longer. This one, sir. After this, I got the one another class.
When did I? No, I'm not finishing now. Check. I'm taking out check. Supposed to be off. If you look at it, you work on the plate. I don't finish.
I'm not your origin of the
orí máa ló fọ́ sùn síbi jábọ́ lé orí ẹ̀rọ àwọn asáré gbòmù síbi jábọ́ lé lórí ọlọ́run kí tìrì máa wò kó má jẹ́ tìrì tó máa ń da orí.
nǹkan ṣe gan lánàá nǹkan ṣe
èmi ló jábọ̀
èmi nǹkan ṣe lè ní ọlọ́run kọ́ ṣàánú ẹ̀ lọ́lọ́run ṣàánú ẹ̀ nǹkan bí ó máa tó yẹ tó bá jábọ́ lé òní dáyé ẹ̀ tó máa ń lọ.
mo fẹ́ sọ kí ni ẹ̀ mo ti ń fi wọ́n pa àwọn ẹ̀sìn sọ pé
ó ní ìdíkò ṣe
máa sọ pé nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ bóyá nǹkan tó níwájú wọn tí wọ́n fẹ́ kó ṣe lẹ́yìn tó máa ṣe
orí
ọ̀fẹ́ ọlọ́run wà láì
orí ọ̀fẹ́ gidi ni
ọ̀la èmi gbọ́ fún
kéèkì ìyẹn ò máa tó nǹkan tó máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ mí tó máa fi ń gbọ̀ ọ̀gbọ̀n pé tí ibi dáwọ́ ni lórí ó kú náà wà fẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ ni mo.
ẹ jọ kó wáyé pé tí ìyẹn jábọ̀ yìí lórí lọ ṣe pẹ́kẹ́ kálọ̀ máa wà ní
ẹ̀ka ló ṣe tv
wà láì mọ̀ nítorí bí wọn.
ìrọ́ ni ṣọ̀rẹ́ ìbò ìrọ́ ni.
ààrẹ ẹgbẹ́ mi pẹ̀lú aláàmú kan tó pẹ̀lú mo ti ní bóyá mo ní máa rẹ́ gidi lò.
àìjẹ́ torí pé èèyàn ṣubú sí èèyàn yóò lóyún mọ́.
ó sọ wípé ó ní àbáwá.
orí ò da yàrá mi pọ̀ yàrá bó ni.
He delivered.